What's going on, guys? So sometimes I like to scour the old interwebs to see if there's any jiu-jitsu related questions I think that would be interesting to answer. So of course I stumbled into Reddit, and there was a cool question asking about injuries and higher belts. So basically this person says, I've done BJJ for 5 years. I'm constantly injured. It's always something, fingers, knees, whatever you want. As soon as something heals, I get something new. So question to long-term practitioners, so more experienced practitioners, does it get better with time? I imagine tendons get thicker, body adapts, and at least wear and tear should reduce. Or are you getting injuries other than you did as white belts? Is there hope? So, but let's talk about a few topics that I think put younger or less experienced practitioners at risk that actually help out older practitioners, and then vice versa. So we'll get into a few little topics. So let's categorize our less experienced grapplers as white and blue belts, and then more experienced would be like upper purple to black belt, right? So first thing I would talk about is body awareness. So as a new grappler, you're not gonna have the best body awareness. You're not gonna know where your body is in space or kind of how to position your body or your weight. So that can sometimes put you at a higher risk. You may also do things that you may not do as an experienced practitioner, such as like plant your hand if you're getting ready to get taken down or you're getting ready to fall. You might base with your hand instead of kind of break falling or falling on the forearm. So that's kind of an idea. Now, the other thing is we're looking at positional awareness increases, you know, as you get more experience, maybe knowing when to move your hand or reposition your leg or your knee if you're in a bad spot. Also, for example, like the lockdown, you may know that, hey, if I'm putting a lockdown, I'm not gonna try to bust through. I may back out and try to release that lockdown before passing, so that way I don't destroy my knee. Those are some ideas, but that comes with experience, comes with, you know, knowledge of positional awareness and kind of body awareness. So I just kind of mentioned about positional or like technique knowledge. You're gonna know a little bit more about techniques and where your body is safe and when it's not. So if somebody gets put in an arm bar, they may think they can eat the arm bar and still get out, and they may get their arm, you know, broken or tear something, versus an experienced practitioner may know like, hey, I'm stuck in this position or this submission. I may not be able to get out of it. I may not want to explode or sit in it too long. I know when my time is to tap. Again, when you're a beginner, less experienced, you're not going to have that knowledge. You may eat submissions. You may get put in a Kimura or an Americana. You may just try to take that and see if you can pop out, versus someone that's more experienced are going to know when they're in a tough spot and when maybe they can't get out of that position, and they'll tap sooner or earlier just to keep themselves safe by another day. So going too hard in training. So again, as a newer grappler, you may not know kind of how hard you should be training. Sometimes you're gonna go really hard 100% all the time, and that can kind of break your body down more quickly, wear you out, make you more fatigued, make you more susceptible to injuries. As experienced grapplers, we know kind of when to push on the gas, when to back off, when to take a little bit of maybe a lighter round or kind of slow the pace. We have more control of the roll in most cases. And even if it's two black belts going against each other, they're gonna have probably gonna be able to match each other's paces, or their flow is gonna be more similar, unless like a competition roll. But you know, usually in practice, you're gonna be doing pretty well as far as being controlled and like keeping the pace controlled, and also keeping positions controlled. So as white belts, you may find that white belts are all over the mats. They're not really any kind of like controlled positional, you know, battle, versus black belts maybe, or upper belts will be more controlled. Their movements, they're gonna explode at the right time, and they're gonna kind of stay and keep position when they need to. So I think, you know, with all those scrambling and less experienced practitioners, you're gonna find that maybe it makes you more susceptible to certain injuries. More experienced, maybe less injury prone. Now, training volume, so how much you train. I think that when most of us start jiu-jitsu, beginners, we want to train all the time. Like, it's fun. You learn a submission, you get a sweep, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And you find something you finally love, and you want to train all the time. The problem with that is that it kind of breaks your body down too quickly, and it may lead to some overuse or even just some injuries, where maybe if you would have paced yourself a little more, not trained every single day as hard as you can, that would probably help save your body a little bit but again, we don't really know what our limit is. Versus older grapplers, we're gonna find that sweet spot where we feel good, we feel sharp, and our body's not too broken down. Again, we're also, you know, if we're training for a competition, we're all probably, you know, susceptible to that. Again, it's up to you. You know, you got to kind of listen to your body. Like, man, I feel beat up today. I may not go as hard, or I may drill or do some positional work. I'm not going to go too hard on the round. So figuring out your volume. Younger grapplers, you're probably gonna be more susceptible to injury in that capacity if you don't know what your body can respond to. And again, it's never a bad idea to start a little bit slower or lighter, maybe train a couple times a week to start with, and then see how you feel for the first month, build some consistency, then go to 3 times a week, and then go up that way. That's just an example versus the older grapplers. You know, you're gonna find that sweet spot. You're gonna train hard certain classes, you're gonna kind of ease off certain classes, you're gonna listen to your body and have a better sense and better feel for how you keep yourself protected on the mats. So the other thing I just kind of mentioned earlier is wear and tear. In the question, they kind of mentioned, you know, wear and tear is going to decrease. Actually, it's going to increase on your body. I think that when we get solidified in certain positions as experienced grapplers, we're going to go to those positions. Maybe it's working half guard from one side or the other, certain takedowns repetitively can start to break down the body. So I think as you begin as less experienced, you know, you're going to not have that wear and tear. You can kind of get your body to eventually adapt to the rigors or to the intensity and the stresses of jiu-jitsu. So you can do that gradually by bringing yourself up. But again, like I mentioned, if you go way too hard, too fast, too much, you're gonna probably lead to an injury there. And older grapplers, I think it's one of those things where it's very important to rotate the tires. We say that maybe you're gonna work half guard from the right side, then the left side. You're gonna work different positions. You may switch up your game, work on different elements of your game when you have that ability and that knowledge to do so. So again, the wear and tear is a real thing. I think we all deal with it. Some ways to combat wear and tear, again, is mobility work, proper warm-up, diet, you know, those things we talk about, strength training, of course, 100%, you know, have good mobility, good strength in your body. That's kind of a way to help reinforce and protect yourself. So I think that as older grapplers, as we're realizing, that's one of the ways we combat injuries or protect ourselves or mitigate the risk of injuries. And younger grapplers, you know, that's something if you can implement into your training regimen, so you don't just train all the time, but you do some strength training, some mobility work, find those good movements and those warm-ups that can help save you as well. So those are some ideas to think about. In my thinking is that you have certain things that make you more susceptible to injuries as an inexperienced grappler, but then all that time, you know, being on the mats, a little wear and tear on the body, and also going against higher skilled opponents can put you at also certain injuries can occur in that aspect as well. So I think just, again, we mentioned just be smart about your training frequency, your training intensity, doing things off the mats, such as, you know, drinking enough water and proper diet and recovery and sleep and weightlifting, and all those things can be important. Again, listen to your body. That's the most important thing. Listen to your body and how it feels. And again, as always, seek out help. If you're injured, reach out to a physical therapist or someone that is a medical provider that has a good understanding of grappling that can get you back to the mat safely. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment down below, and I'll talk to you guys next time.